Hi everybody, Keith here from South Coast Paranormal. It's story time, and the story I'm going to tell you today is the Blue Elephant restaurant in Simcoe. Let's jump right into it. Well, hello everybody. I hope everybody's having a good weekend. I thought we'd do something a little different. Story time. I tell you is a story. True story. The vision, if you will, 2017, Labor Day weekend. Myself, Mike Wells, Richard Somerville, our Spector team, and we are headed to Simcoe, Ontario, here where I live, where I'm from, the Blue Elephant restaurant. Now, leading up to this investigation, I'm a delivery man who delivers bags of water conditioning salt for water softeners, and I do deliver to the Blue Elephant. They're a customer of ours. So I've been going in and out of there for, as of now, 16 years, but I guess it would be about 12, 13 years. And I didn't really experience too much, delivering. So I'm only there for, 5 minutes. So the odds of having something paranormal happen while I'm there, you probably get a better chance of being struck by lightning or winning the max lottery. But anyway, I think it was 12 years. I was going to do my Blue Elephant restaurant salt delivery. And I come in the back door, back entrance, in the kitchen, and there's a stairwell. And I just kind of briefly glanced down the stairwell and turned my head and looked over to the office to see if the owner, Heather, was in. And as I turned my head back, I seen somebody from the bottom of the stairs, like from head to feet, walk across the doorway. So I proceeded downstairs. I didn't think anything of it. And I proceeded downstairs. And when you get to the bottom of the stairs, I have to go left and kind of zigzag around down the hall. Well, to the right, there's a wall, and there's a walk-in freezer. So I don't know where this guy went. I'm assuming he went into the freezer, or why he closed the door on himself. I guess he can get back out. So like I said, don't really think anything about it or of it, and I carry on with my delivery. So I wrap up my delivery and I take the bill up and I go into Heather's office and she's in there and I hand her the bill to sign it. I said, "You don't by chance have somebody working in the basement today, do you?" And she goes, "No, why? What did you see?" I'm thinking, what do you mean? What do you mean? What did I see? A person. She goes, "Is it a man?" I said, "Absolutely." I said, "He looked like he was wearing plaid, though. He went by pretty quick." I said, "But, yeah, he disappeared, I guess, into the freezer." She goes, "No, Keith, there's nobody down there today." I said, "Are you sure?" She goes, "Oh, yeah, positive. Because they do have contractors, coming in and out, doing stuff all the time, doing upkeep and whatnot, right? With all their equipment they have." And right then and there, I looked at her and I said, "I belong to a paranormal team, and I think the boys would love to come in here." I said, "Maybe we could come in and talk to you and set something up." And, without hesitation, she goes, "By all means," because I'd love to have you guys here. Hey, awesome, right? So that's how the first investigation became for Spector team to get into the Blue Elephant. Is because of something I seen, right? And when I went back and told Mike Wells, he's like, "Are you kidding me?" He goes, "I've always wanted to go there." I said, "Well, your wish just came true, buddy. We're going, and we're going September Labor Day weekend, right?" So we're all hyped up all about it, and he he got a hold of Richard Somerville to come in, so there'd be 3 of us instead of just 2, right? And cover a little more area, because this is a big building. You got the basement, you got the main floor, you got the second floor, and then you have the attic. And it is a big place. It is a big place. So, Labor Day weekend rolls around, and here we are. I got the key, and I let us in. And we didn't tell anybody about our location, because we don't want people showing up and banging on windows, you know, being smartasses and whatnot, you know, when we're trying to investigate. So anyway, we get there, and we get all the cameras all set up, and we proceed to go sit on the bar side of the restaurant, which is the newer side of the restaurant. And Heather told us that there's never been any claims of activity on that side of the restaurant. Okay, sure enough, you know, good enough. And she did give me a walkthrough, and she took me to all the places, took me through and showed me, you know, there's supposed to be a lady up in the ladies' washroom on the second floor, and a little girl ghost that plays up there. And someone closes the bathroom door up there. I said, okay, fair enough. And also there's a man that's seen in the basement, which I saw. And I said, okay, that's good. And then she said there's just just normal weird paranormal stuff, noises and unexplained noises and stuff, right? Okay, cool. So, like I said, we were sitting over on the bar side in the restaurant, coming up with a strategy of where we're going to start. And just the 3 of us are sitting there, and all of a sudden we heard a bang and loud footsteps, as if somebody was wearing work boots. And we all look at each other. You heard that, right? It's like what you hear on all the paranormal ghost hunting programs. Did you hear that? And we all said that basically at the same time. Did you hear that? And we're all like, yeah. And we all jumped up. We all went different directions to every door, because we thought maybe one of the doors we left unlocked. And we scattered, and we went and checked the doors, make sure everything was locked. Everything was locked. We are locked into the Blue Elephant. There's no explanation for it. We couldn't come up with an explanation of what that was. So we kind of brushed it off as paranormal, because there's nobody there, and there's nobody outside, because we looked as well, right? So anyway, we come up with an idea, come up with a game plan, and we decide to go upstairs. And we got the thermal camera with us, and I'm pretty sure you all know what a thermal camera is. It picks up heat signatures and cold signatures, right? So, you know, if you're holding it on a chair and pointing it at a chair, you can see if somebody has been sitting there or not, right, by the different temperature. So anyway, we proceeded upstairs, and we went up into the attic, and I believe Richard was holding the thermal camera, and we're up in the attic, and we come through the one room, and there's a doorway, and just as we turn, Richard goes, holy shit, look, and there's a figure appears on the thermal. You can see the head, you can see the body. So I'm standing here in the doorway, Richard is standing here holding the thermal, and Mike Wells is right behind us. And he goes, okay guys, he goes, take a step forward. So we take a step forward. The spirit, whatever's there on the camera, is still there. He goes, all right guys, take one more step forward. So we take one more step forward. Lo and behold, still there in the thermal. He says one more time, take one more step closer, guys. And like the way the signature is on the thermal camera, it would almost be like, I think whatever's there is like 2 or 3 feet in front of us. So we're almost like ready to touch it. So as we take another step, keep in mind, you see the head, the body, all of a sudden you see this on the camera. A hand comes up, I guess it's more or less saying, whoa, stop, you're invading my space kind of thing, right? And Mike goes one more time, forward guys, and as we went forward, poof, off the screen, whatever it was gone. And I'll tell you, the hairs on our arms and our neck were standing right up, because you put that thermal down and you look and all you see is darkness, but something was standing right there. And I tell you, it's an adrenaline rush you'll never experience if you've never been out and done paranormal investigating. It was crazy. I mean, it was just freaking crazy. So after that, we didn't catch anything else upstairs. We decided to go downstairs and we want to check out the ladies' washroom. We put a little ball on the floor and marked an X and put the ball there in case the little child spirit wants to play with the ball. Ball never moved. All night, through the whole investigation, nothing. We had a camera set up in there. We did kind of debunk the weird noises that come from the bathroom, and for some weird reason, it was a plumbing issue. The toilets, I guess, were on some kind of, I don't know if it was a timer, or I'm not a plumber, so I really don't know for sure, but it was weird. The ladies' toilets would just kind of automatically flush, like one would flush and another one would flush, and you could hear like water running. So there was obviously a plumbing issue. So we kind of debunked that, and then we noticed now the door is on a hinge on the top, so the door, gets pulled, it'll close itself, providing, there's nothing blocking it, which it would actually scrape across the floor. So I walked in and out of the bathroom several times, and I noticed every time I walked through the bathroom door, or walked through the doorway past the bathroom door, the door would move just a little bit each time, and finally, about the 8th time I passed through, the door would shut behind me, and we debunked the ghost closing the bathroom door on people. Because if you're like the 8th person, 7 people have gone previous to the bathroom, and you're the 8th person, you hit that certain spot on the floor as you walk in. You're not even thinking nothing of it, because you want to go to the bathroom. You got to go to the bathroom. You don't really care what's going on with the door, but the minute you walk through the threshold and that door closes, boom, you're going, what the hell just happened? But that's it. That's debunked. So we move on, and we didn't capture anything upstairs. Well, actually, we captured one thing upstairs on my camcorder. It was fairly dark, but nobody was upstairs at the time. We were down on another floor, because no matter what floor we were on, we weren't getting the activity. It would either be, if we were downstairs, there's bangs upstairs, and if when we're upstairs, we could hear it downstairs. So anyway, we got the camera set up, and it's pointing down the hall towards the ladies' bathroom. We were hoping to catch something in the hall, but we did hear a weird knock, banging sound, and then you hear what sounded like a breath. And I do believe that's on our YouTube channel. We do have that. I do have that uploaded. I didn't get too much on my equipment, because at that time I really didn't have much equipment, because once again I was with Spector Team. South Coast Paranormal wasn't even thought of or born yet. So Mike Wells, it was all his equipment that we used, right? He was our lead investigator. Spector Team is his team, still is his team. So yeah, we caught the bang, clunk, and the weird breathing. We couldn't debunk that. We tried. So anyway, that was it for the upstairs. And then downstairs on the main floor, there's just so many different things that are running and kicking off and on, all the equipment for making their beer, right? And we kind of debunked a lot of it. But you can't debunk footsteps when nobody's moving. You just can't. And we could hear the footsteps, but they were always going away from us, never coming to us. And we even went into the kitchen, and we noticed if you walked across the kitchen, like heavy-footed, they have plates stacked up, stack here, stack here, stack here, then cups and saucers, and if plates shake back and forth, they make that clinking sound. We kept hearing the clinking sound. So we'd stop moving, and we'd listen, and we'd hear them clinking. Well, nobody's moving, nobody's shaking everything. There was none of the machinery there running at the time. So we couldn't debunk why the plates and stuff would clink together. And I even went over, and we all did eventually, and we stood and looked at each set of plates, stacks of plates, and there's a space between them. So there's no way, two stacks of plates an inch apart are going to hit each other. You could jump up and down all day, and they're not going to hit each other, right? So we couldn't debunk that at all. We went downstairs where I seen the male figure, and we did EVP session after EVP session, and we never did catch anything on the EVP recorders, on the digital voice recorders that I'm aware of. Mike's never come back and told me if we caught anything, but I'm pretty sure we didn't. I didn't catch anything on my digital voice recorder. But you certainly get a sense that there's somebody down there, there's somebody with you at all times, right? You feel it. We're all built with that sixth sense, and you definitely know you're not alone. Regardless if you're with one or two of your investigator buddies or not, even if you're down there alone. And so the first investigation there wasn't. It was pretty good. We did catch a few things, like I said, the apparition upstairs on the thermal camera. But we ended up going back, and Richard Somerville couldn't make it this investigation. It was me and Mike, and he brought in a fellow investigator from Cambridge, Jeff Nunn, and his son. And we pretty much experienced all the same things, the clunks, the bangs, the rattles. We didn't catch anything on the thermal this time when we went. But Jeff brought, for the first time, I've never seen one, he brought an SLS Connect camera. And we're not 100% sure, but it seemed we were up in the attic. So it kind of made sense when we picked something up. We picked up a stick figure on that Connect's camera, and it could have been a false positive. I'm not sure. I don't know if it was mapping the little TV on the floor. It didn't. It kind of seemed like it, but it didn't. And then Jeff's son put his hand out. We figured it was a little boy, and he asked the spirit, the little boy, goes, "Do you want to hold my hand?" And when you see on the camera where this little hand reaches up to his hand, it was like, whoa. It was like, I don't know. So maybe it wasn't a false positive. Maybe it was what it was. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the SLL Connect cameras because they map so many different things. You can map a 3-foot plant, and it's going to show a skeleton figure, like there's a midget standing there or a little kid, you know what I mean? Or it'll map the door frame to a doorway or the corner of a cabinet. Or I went and I built my own, and I tested it extensively, and we had plates and cups and large silverware in the dish tray beside the sink, and it actually mapped a person sitting in the basket. No, it's false positive, right? So I don't really believe in it. I see Zach Bagans, they use it, and they lie constantly. I curse at the TV because of it, because I can't stand false claims. But yeah, that's the SLS Connects cameras. I don't know. I haven't have any solid proof when you catch something on those yet. There's nothing that I can say that's concrete that it's a spirit you're picking up. But anyway, that story is for another time. I won't get into that anymore. It'll end up being a long rant. So anyway, that's what happened upstairs with Jeff and myself and his son, and everything else was the same. Like we had the footsteps, the clunks, the bangs. I did end up going downstairs to check a camera by myself, and at the time my stepdaughter was working at the Blue, and she brought it to my attention that as you're going down the hallway through the basement, there's actually a circular hole in the wall, and if you look into that little room, it's where they store the bottles of wine, and there's actually a spot 2 feet by 12 inches where they pass the wine up underneath the bar to restock. She goes, you got to check out that room because we hear wine bottles clinking and all by themselves, right? Sure enough. Okay, will do. So when I was going down to check the cassette on the camera, I'm down there by myself. All I got's a flashlight, and I walk past the hole, and all of a sudden I stop and I went, oh yeah, I gotta look in there. So I put my flashlight up, I go to peek into the hole, and if I'm lying, I'm dying. I almost shit my pants, I'm telling you the truth. This black mass of something, it's like it stood up and it shot to the right. I jumped back because it scared the crap out of me. I looked like a Persian cat. My hair was all fluffed up and standing up on end. And I had a lot more hair. Even here, I had a lot more hair then. I looked like Don freaking King. This freaked me out. And after I composed myself, I didn't run. You don't run. You don't run. You don't let your fears control you. I went back, I put the flashlight back in the hole, and I looked in, and I'm telling you, from here, that's the hole, like 3 feet over, 2 feet over, there's wall. And I don't know where this thing went. It literally had to jumped up. Maybe we scared each other, I don't know. But like it didn't have a face or anything. It was just like a big black thing of smoke or something. I can't even really explain it. It was just wild. It happened so fast. But it went through the wall. I have no idea where it went. Not a clue. So, after gaining my composure and making sure I didn't poop my trousers, I carried on to the back room, checked the camera, and got it set back up. Went back upstairs and told the guys, I said, you're not going to believe what happened to me downstairs. And it was just wild. That was like the wildest thing I've ever seen in the basement, other than the full body apparition that I'd seen months and months before that. So yeah, the Blue Elephant was pretty awesome. Not a lot really happened. I don't know. I do know Spector Team has recently been back there. I really don't know what they found on the last 2 investigations. And there's a whole new team. Mike Wells, of course, but he's got a whole new group of people on the team. Hopefully they put something out there so we can see what they caught. But I'm thinking once this COVID-19 stuff is over with and restaurants are back open and everything, I'm going to go in and have a chat with Heather, and hopefully I can take in the South Coast Paranormal Team and we can have a go at it ourselves. We've got a fair amount of equipment just sitting in my office here beside me collecting dust, so it'd be nice to get it dusted off and get out there and go at it again. So that was it for our investigation there. About 8 months ago, guy I work with, we were down there doing a delivery, and I went downstairs ahead of him, and I did what I had to do. I cut my salt bags and put it in the salt tank, and I'm on my way back down the hall. Well, here comes my buddy I'm working with. He's got two bags. He's got salt up on his shoulder, and he's coming around the zigzag turn, and I'm coming towards him, and all of a sudden he spun around, and he starts heading in the other direction. I said, "Where the hell are you going?" He goes, "Someone just walked past me." He goes, "I looked down and I seen a set of legs go past me." I said, "Buddy, there's nobody down here but me. It's just me. There's nobody down here." And he's like losing his mind. You know, he swore somebody walked past him. And he's a skeptic kind of guy. He sits on the fence when it comes to the paranormal. He's not sure what to believe. I've told him a lot of stories about the Blue Elephant and other places that I've visited and things I've experienced. Right, so he wanted to experience something for himself, and well, careful what you wish for, right? And he was quite wound up about it. And so when we went upstairs and we were done doing our delivery, we were talking to the girl in the kitchen, and Brad's going, oh my God, you won't believe what happened to me." And the girl goes, "Oh, where?" And he goes, "Downstairs." He goes, "I was walking through, and he goes, I swore somebody walked past me." She goes, "You didn't see a set of legs, did you?" And he looks at her, his jaw drops. He goes, yeah, that's exactly what I saw." And she goes, "Me too. I seen the exact same thing down there. Not the same day, but separate occasions." And they talked amongst themselves and shared their stories with each other. And she goes, "No, buddy, you seen what you saw." And he was quite tickled. He still wasn't quite sure, if it's real or not, or maybe it's his mind playing tricks on him because he wants to believe. So if you want something bad enough, you can kind of manifest it to happen. You know what I mean? So that place has a lot of energy. Excuse me. A lot of energy in it to begin with. So it wouldn't take too much to manifest something like that, in my honest opinion. So, maybe that's what it was. I don't know. But to this day, there's still activity that goes on there. And I used to go in there every two weeks, I think it is, and for work. And there's the odd time, usually about once a month, one of the girls comes to me and tells me something new that's happened that they experienced. Stuff flying off the shelf, or like just falling off on its own, right, kind of thing. So it is what it is. I can definitely say it's haunted. I know it's haunted. I've experienced far too much there to say it's not, but I can't wait to go back. And I think it'll be a good experience. It can get a little overwhelming, and if you're walking through that building in the dark, there's lots of shadows that can happen with traffic driving by, and play tricks on your mind and freak you out a little bit. So I kind of have a golden rule where I always keep two investigators together. I don't like anybody wandering off on their own, because it can be kind of freaky. Which reminds me of one last story. Excuse me. On the first investigation with me, Mike, and Richard, Mike decided, I think he watches too much of the shows on TV. He wants to put 3 locations on a piece of paper and throw it in a hat. And we're all going to separate and go on our own. So the one guy got the basement. I think it was Richard got the basement. Mike got the first floor, which was mostly just little clinks and clunks and some footsteps. Wasn't too freaky. And me, I was just I got sent to the attic. yeah, I got sent to the attic, and I was scared. I was actually scared. My nerves took over, and I had a hard time. I got up to the third floor and opened the door, and you got to go up a flight of stairs to a landing, and another flight of stairs, and then boom, you're in the attic. And I made it in there. I got up to the first flight of stairs. I had a camera, I had a flashlight, and I had a digital voice recorder. And I did about a 10-minute EVP session, standing on the stairs, because I just couldn't. For some reason, I just couldn't go into the attic yet. I don't know. It was like something was telling me not to go there. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, I did a 10-minute EVP session. I kept the camera rolling all the time, and finally, I walked up the other stairs into the attic, walked into the room, stood at the doorway where we had caught the body apparition on the thermal camera, and there's another doorway to another room, and then another doorway takes you back to where you started at the top of the stairs. In the minute I come through that doorway with the camera, I turned around backwards and I walked backwards through to the other doorway, because I just had this feeling, if I had to let my guard down and turn my back to that particular area, I just had this feeling that something was going to reach out and grab me by the scruff of the neck or the shoulder. And if that had been the case, I would have wished I was wearing Depends. There was just something about the air up there was so thick, and it was overwhelmingly warm up in that attic. Like, oh my God. But yeah, it was. I can't wait to experience again. I really got to go back and do that. You kind of get freaked out sometimes. Like I said, your mind plays tricks on you, but you got to learn to face your fears and continue on regardless, right? Because me personally, I don't believe there was anybody there or anything that was going to hurt me or any other one of the guys on the team, right? But your brain doesn't function that way. It thinks different. It's got a safety mechanism. You know, you got a safety mechanism built in, and your brain wants to protect you. So sometimes I think it gets a little screwy and makes you think the wrong things, right? But that's only being human, you know. So anyway, I wanted to share that story with you. I rather wished I had some EVPs to let you guys listen to, or I had some footage to show you. But being that I don't, I figured this would be the best way to share my experiences at the Blue Elephant with you. So hopefully, if things go well, I may get there this fall. I'll have to talk to Heather, and we'll see what happens. If not this year, next year. Because I know in the fall we're going to be heading back up to Sparta anyway. We got to redo the Sparta tea room, finish that off. The owner said we could come back and investigate a little longer in the tea room, and then they have another shop across the road from the tea room where she wants us to go in and check that out, because there's some apparent paranormal activity going on there as well. So yeah, hopefully we get to that in the fall, and look forward to that, folks. So anyway, I bid you a farewell. Y'all take care of yourself and each other, and we'll see you in the next one.